This week we're going to take a closer look at weather trends in Argentina, where corn is pollinating and filling grain. We're going to come back and update trends in U.S. corn exports. We're going to wrap things up with a long-term review of December corn futures. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the corn market. We're moving into the latter part of January here, and of course we're in the middle of winter in the northern hemisphere. However, in the southern hemisphere, they're right in the middle of the key parts of the growing season. This week we're going to focus on weather trends in Argentina. Let's take a look at where that early corn is produced in Argentina. Now here's a map showing all the corn production areas in Argentina. The key point we want to highlight here is that Argentina is expected to account for a significant percentage of the world's corn exports during March through June. So the size of the crop and of course weather there certainly bears monitoring. With that in mind, let's take a look at the short-term trends. Our slides this week, as usual, are courtesy of T-Storm Weather. We're starting out here looking at early corn production. Now, about 74% of the early corn production in Argentina is pollinating and in the early grain fill stage. So you're looking at a very key stage. You're looking at the July-August time period here in the Midwest. Looking at this map here, three key provinces, Buenos Aires, Cordoba, and Santa Fe. About 80% of the corn, early corn, is amongst those three provinces. Now, to the west of that red line, if you will, there is going to be some rain near term here. We're looking at maybe 1 to 2 inches across that area. However, that only accounts for about 25% of early corn. As we move further to the east, much less rain. Let's take a closer look at that. Again, we superimpose that red line here again. Very little rain to the east of that red line. In fact, much below normal here over the next 10 days. So not an ideal finish for that corn. Let's take a look at temperatures now. Temperatures across that same area again are going to be warmer than normal here through the next 7 days. So again, not an ideal finish. Let's take a look at total precip now over the next 14 days. Now, total rain over the next 14 days, again highlighting here, very dry over most of those areas. So we're really looking at a key period here. Maybe there's room for some adjustments in that production area in Argentina moving forward. We'll keep a close eye on that for you. Let's shift gears now and refocus on export trends here in the U.S. We've looked at this slide for several weeks now. We're looking at a record pace for 25-26 corn exports. In fact, they're 55% higher than last year. However, we have to acknowledge what happened last week with that crop production report from the USDA. That record 2025 U.S. corn crop is simply overwhelming the record export pace. In fact, the USDA is now forecasting corn carryout here in the U.S. to increase by more than 43% in 25-26. So that's why we saw that sharp downward adjustment in price last week. Let's wrap things up this week looking at trends in December corn. December corn, as we tape here on Wednesday this week, is trading near $4.50 a bushel. Notice we're approaching that February crop insurance period, but look at over the next 6 to 9 months how much potential price volatility is there. That's why we strongly encourage you to continue to work closely with your trusted risk management advisor to manage price movement and avoid price prediction. Now, if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 309-664-2300. We'll put you in contact with our risk management consultants who'll be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss an update. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.